Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in Atlanta, it's time for Gwinnett Chamber's monthly radio show, Open for Business, spotlighting the top chamber members in Gwinnett. Open for Business is brought to you by FarraTech. FarraTech, great people, remarkable service.
And hello again and welcome to Open for Business. I'm your host, Johnny Phelps, a realtor broker with Harry Noman Realtors and a two-time Ambassador of the Year with the Gwinnett Chamber, and we're delighted to have you with us. We're delighted to have these guests today as well. Bill Lampton from Championship Communication, Marcel Williams from MSW Creative Services, Don Conklin from Pinnacle Custom Signs, and Courtney Spencer, Membership Services Coordinator with the Gwinnett Chamber. Bill Lampton, let me start with you. Before we actually talk about Championship Communication, you have a communication background. You taught communication in college.
That's correct. After receiving my graduate degrees, I taught speech communication at the University of Georgia to start my professional career.
So what would take someone to become a speech communication professor?
You have to realize quite early in life how important communication is. I know I always had a fascination with it. I remember, though, Johnny, in college, Millsaps College, a small college in Jackson, Mississippi, like a lot of students, I was required to take an introductory speech course, never dreaming I would be teaching that many years later. It amazed me that if a student prepared a presentation well, gave it with commitment and enthusiasm and good reasoning, not only could they change someone's opinion in 10 minutes, they possibly could even change their behavior. To me, that was so powerful that I wanted to help people learn how to do that.
Well, that certainly set you up for starting your championship communication business. This is, 20 years or so now that you've been working in that regard?
Started in 1997.
What do you do with businesses in terms of helping them with their communication?
The main thing I do, to summarize it very quickly, is to help them identify their major communication problems and, of course, more importantly, find solutions to them. In assessing what a company needs, I like to get private, confidential interviews with their leaders and as many of their employees as I can. And I ask them 3 questions. Number 1, what's good about communication in this company? I'd like to start off on a positive note. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, what's wrong with communication here? What are some of the problems? And knowing that they're speaking to me confidentially, their ideas will be shared, but their names will not. They come out with some wonderful suggestions there, and more precisely when I give the 3rd question, and that is, what are your recommendations for improving communication in the company? After surveying leaders and employees, I get with the CEO, I bring that report, and from there, we map out a plan to overcome the problems we've identified.
What are some of the things that would go into a plan like that, Bill, in terms of the steps that they would follow?
It depends on what we identify as the problems. But let's say, for example, we find that their salespeople are not giving the persuasive presentations. They're not winning when they get the opportunity. And in those cases, I would set up individual coaching sessions where we would work with an 8 to 10 minute presentation that they would give. We would videotape that. We would critique it, not tear it apart, but see positively what we could do to improve it.
There are so many people that we encounter who are just they have a fear of a microphone. They have a fear of standing in front of people with that presentation. And obviously, you've encountered plenty of those people. What are the steps that you take with them to overcome some of those fears?
One of my favorite topics, as Richard Nixon would say, I'm glad you asked that question. There are a number of things that I advise. Number 1, realize that your audience is not your enemy. People have a very negative view, a very pessimistic view about audiences. They think audiences are just waiting to pounce on every mistake. I say, to speakers that I'm training, recognize that your audience, that's not your critics, that's your cheerleaders. They want you to succeed. Why do they want you to succeed? Because when a speaker fails, it's just as uncomfortable for the audience as it is for the speaker. So I say recognize that you've got people out there who are really pulling for you. In fact, Johnny, I tell people that the main thing your audience is thinking is, I sure am glad it's her up there speaking. Or I sure am glad it's me up there. It's him up there speaking instead of me. So they're sympathetic, they're supportive. That's an important point right there.
That really does sound important to make them understand that people that you're speaking to want you to be, they want to hear what you have to say and are generally decided to be interesting.
Yes, and a second main point that I certainly emphasize is people are not looking for perfection. Many speakers rehearse 20 times. They get before a mirror. They do some videotaping or audio taping, and they want to be so precise and so perfect and never miss a word. Look, folks, we don't want robots. We want somebody who has what I would call a conversation with the audience. Artificiality will make you strike out every time. An audience wants authenticity. They want the real you, just sharing your ideas in an energetic, clear way with them.
We're talking with Bill Lampton of Championship Communication on Open for Business from the Gwinnett Chamber. With respect to the Chamber, share with us let me congratulate you first on being Business of the Month for July. Share with us your experience in the Chamber and how you have seen it grow for you and Championship Communication.
My experience with the Chamber has been exceptionally positive right from the start. I got connected with the Chamber through a friend of mine who at that time was a member. He told me about Gwinnett working. We went one morning. I caught the vitality that's there, the professionalism that is there, with you leading and with Courtney Spencer directing and with the ambassadors who help energize the meeting. That was a wonderful start, just that introduction. I remember still the first business after hours that I attended because to me it signified what the Chamber is all about. One of the Chamber members knew that I was a new member. He had seen me at one or two Gwinnett workings. He came over to me and he said very generously, "Bill, would you like to meet some of the leaders tonight?" And I said, "Well, of course I would." Now, how generous is that? So he took me almost in hand to several people. Ironically, one of them I met that night was Mike Salmond. Mike and I talked. He said, "What do you do?" I said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Gosh, I certainly would be interested in being on your program since communication is my bailiwick." He said, "Pull out your calendar."
Well, it's great how that connection works from one to another, not only just in the Gwinnett working in business after hours, but through the general membership meetings and so forth that I know that you've been a part of as well.
Well, it's very much like Ambassador Bob Lample says. We are competition, yes, but we're also companions. We want each other to succeed. We don't want anybody in there to fail, even if they're in our profession.
Bill, how can people connect with you, your contact information for someone who may have a need for Championship Communication?
Thank you. Phone number 678-316-4300. And I invite listeners to visit my website, bizcommunicationguy.com.
Oh, that's a great title. Bill Lampton, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move now to Marcel Williams of MSW Creative Services. Just first of all, Marcel, what does MSW Creative Services do for people?
Well, basically, MSW Creative Services help small to medium-sized businesses visually communicate with their clients. So through photography, videography, and website design.
What sort of background did you have that led you in this direction?
Well, I actually graduated from Valdosta State University a few years ago, and since then, I loved it. I went in undecided. Was hanging out with some friends one day. They were I thought they were having fun, but they were in class shooting a video. I think it was a movie for class. And I guess I fell in love since then.
Did you pick up a camera then and say, "Hey, this is what I want to do"? Huh?
I did.
What are some of the services that you provide?
Well, photography, mainly product photography, a few events, videography, mainly through small business commercials, testimonials, interviews, and website design.
What role do you play in helping someone develop the project that they have going?
Well, basically, I guess the most important thing we find out first is finding out who their target audience is, because you really don't want to shoot videos or even pictures for that matter, and you're kind of shooting in the dark. You kind of want them to target a specific audience. Like if you're a family-oriented business, you don't want to shoot a commercial that's going to appeal to, a different audience. Single men over 50. You want to kind of target it toward who it is that you're trying to target.
Once you picked up that camera in that class and you saw that they were having fun, and then you started having fun, what were the steps that led to the creation of MSW Creative Services?
Well, it started off fun at first. Yeah, I had a great time at first. I actually when I got out of college, I made a few connections. I worked on a few film sets. I worked on commercials, events, and weddings, and a lot of different things. And I really just found out quickly that I was not a big fan of working in the film industry.
Okay.
Especially where you start off at. Because a lot of times, every time, everyone starts at the bottom as a production assistant. And basically, if anyone's ever seen any movie in Hollywood depicting a runner of a movie set, the guy that's going to grab coffee and doing all the things no one else wants to do. It's really the real life of it. And
hey, Marcel, I need coffee, right?
I've heard that so many times, and it's not very. Well, it's okay because you're excited at first,
certainly.
But after a while, the excitement dies, and you need to make some money. And the business it's a lot of nepotism in the business. And to be honest, I just told myself, why am I working here when I could just do it myself? They're not doing anything that I can't do. So I'd rather struggle at first and get things going for myself rather than to work for them, I guess.
These days, everyone who has a smartphone has photography and video capability, and they're going to say to themselves, "Well, gosh, I can do this on my own." What can you tell them to say you can't do it on? Well, you might do it on your own, but I can do it better with my production company.
That may be fine for a viral video, but a lot of those are unscripted anyway, so it doesn't really work out for a lot of the people that are probably listening to this or trying to make something grow. Pretty much for the same reasons you wouldn't hire that same person to do open heart surgery or to build your house. You find a professional to do what professionals do.
Certainly, that's an important thing for sure.
And I'm pretty sure those same people can't tell you the difference between an f-stop and a microphone. So to more than likely, if you put the camera on automatic, of course it'll give you a picture. But again, the bigger picture is being able to target that audience, and that's where that's where a lot of the importance comes from, being able to target an audience. And if you're not a professional, you really can't do those things.
Because everybody does have the capability of doing that in those settings as you described for viral videos, where do you see photography and videography going in the years ahead? What's very popular and what's hot right now is 4K video, which is basically 4 times the resolution of HD. And to be honest, right now, it's a little bit ahead of itself right now because people really don't need it. But we're kind of living in a society where people just want the hottest, newest thing that comes out. It's kind of like when HD started, right? Pretty much, yes. Uh-huh. And you really eventually things take time to catch up. HD is important now, but 4K right now, HD is just fine. We really don't necessarily need 4K. So, but the future is 4K and aerial photography. People are loving drones and the opportunities that they provide. Being able to see from a different point of view on something that in the past would cost a lot of money for someone to hire a helicopter. You got to pay the helicopter, the pilot, the camera operator to put the camera. But now the drone does most of it. You just need a camera operator that has a drone. You can get those same things. Do you provide that capability as well? I sure do. Yes, sir. What are some of the unusual projects that you've had in terms of maybe aerial or underwater or anything like that? Unusual projects, not so much unusual, especially in small business. There's not so much unusual. Just
outside of small business, maybe weddings and just dealing with clients and their unrealistic expectations. A lot of people are just a little uninformed on what all goes into making a professional video. So that's kind of where I step in to kind of just to guide people, because people don't think about needing a location, needing actors. I've shot a few videos for business owners, and just to be completely frank with you all, they aren't the best in front of a camera. So sometimes it is better to outsource who you put in front of the camera. You don't necessarily need to be the face of your business. So that's really what I deal with.
There are probably a lot of sponsors out there who need to be told that more often.
Yes,
we're talking with Marcel Williams of MSW Creative Services. Share with us the background. You were telling me earlier this is your anniversary month with the Chamber.
It is.
Share with us your Chamber experience over this past year.
I've actually loved the Chamber. As you say, we were speaking earlier. It's really, you get what you put into it. I'll admit at first, it was a little just kind of lackadaisical about it, going to it when I was so happy up that early in the morning. But now you truly do get what you put into it. You go more often. You actually shake some hands, talk to a few people instead of standing in the corner scared. People want to know more about you. They want to know who the guy is in the corner, who the woman is that just presented or did not present, that's been coming for a few weeks or months and hadn't said a word or introduced themselves yet. So, but yeah, basically you get what you put in, and I'm trying a lot harder to put in now, and it's working out great.
Well, bravo for that. Now, for people who may hear this and say, wow, I need somebody to shoot a video for me, how do they get in touch with you, Marcel?
You can actually just give me a call. It's 404-398-7262, or you can visit my website at www.mswcreativeservices.com.
Very good. Marcel, thanks so much for being with us today. FarraTech has been in business for 25 years by manufacturing top-of-the-line toner supplies and offering outstanding customer service. FarraTech offers a 100% guarantee on all FarraTech products, so we stand behind our quality. For more information, visit FarraTech.com. That's FarraTech.com. And now we say hello to Don Conklin of Pinnacle Custom Signs. We congratulated Bill on the July Business of the Month. Don, congratulations to you on the August Chairman's Club Business of the Month. Bravo.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Tell us about Pinnacle Custom Signs, and how long have you and Teresa had this thing going?
Interestingly enough, we're coming up on our 5th year anniversary. And the first organization we joined after we opened the company was the Gwinnett Chamber. So it's coming up on our 5-year anniversary with the Chamber as well. So it's been very, very helpful to our business. But yeah, 5 years in the business, commercial sign company located in Beaufort, Georgia. It's owned by Teresa and myself. We have 2 of our boys in the business with us, as well as a bunch of other employees. It's a fun, family-operated business, and we do a lot of things that I never thought we would have done, because I have a background, 25 years in Bell South, the phone company. And so we decided that we'd go start a business and looked at a million different businesses and said, we'll do signs. And someone's always asked me, so why did you choose signs versus, a Subway sandwich shop or something like that? And
why did you choose signs instead of a sandwich shop?
The true answer is, and Teresa will agree with this, it's the only one Teresa would say yes to.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, we'd go and say, hey, Teresa, what about a travel planning cruise planner? She goes, can't do that. What about this? What about that? And finally, we came across this signs thing, and we were commuting downtown out to Decula, where we live, and we'd be driving down the highway, and for about 2 weeks, every time I saw a sign, either on a truck, side of the road, I'd say, honey, there's a sign, there's a sign, there's a sign. She's like, I get it. There's signs all over the place. I said, yeah, even if you're going out of business, you need a going out of business sign. So she decided that was something that we could do, and we picked up the mantle and ran with it. At that point in time, we opened up less than 10 minutes from our house, so I don't have to commute anymore, which was a great opportunity. And then just got really involved in the community, the Beaufort community, the Gwinnett community, and and did a lot of really cool things with the signage industry.
Did you have any background with signs prior to this?
I knew what signs were, I think.
Okay.
In the sign business, just like every other business, it's customer service. It's blocking and tackling. I mean, the sign business is much like a contractor business. You got to do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, and provide them what they ask for. And if you can do those three things on a consistent basis, you're going to be a very successful company. There's some very successful sign companies in Gwinnett, in the chamber as well, that do exactly the same thing. There's a lot of business out there to go around, and the people who actually act professionally and are customer-oriented become very successful in this business.
What are the different types that you, I mean, a lot of people just think of a sign as maybe a billboard or a sign in front of their business, but it's so much more than that.
Oh, it is. We'd say we can do anything from a yard sign, tee box sign, like at a golf tournament, all the way up to, wrapping tractor trailers and things like that. But we do a lot of electrical signs, which are the signs outside of an established that may say cleaners or something like that. We do a lot of vehicle wraps. Believe it or not, the most cost-effective sign in Atlanta is vehicle graphics, whether it's a wrap or graphics, because think of how much time you spend on the road, and think of how much time you're looking at other vehicles that are spending time on the road, whether you want to or not. It's very interesting. But there's a lot of things that are signs that I never thought of as signs before. We got a call 2 years ago from the TV station CW69 down there on 85. Mm-hmm. And they called us up and said, we want to wrap our satellite dishes. Can you do that? And of course, I'd never say no. I said, yeah, sure, we can do that, right? So they had satellite dish covers they put on their satellite dishes, and they wanted to advertise their shows like The Flash and The Falcons and things like that. So we took all of their covers, and their covers were 3.5 meters, so they're about 10, 11 feet in diameter. And we had to put the graphics on the satellite dish covers in a perfect way, because they had to be, with the way the satellite dish was turned, it had to be perfect so that the graphic would line up perfectly. We spent about a week on a cold floor laying out 6 satellite dishes. So if you're ever driving north on 85, look off to the left side where you hit CW69, and those are the dishes, right?
So that's an interesting project.
That was an interesting project. Then I got a call from the Big Green Egg Company, headquartered here in Atlanta, and they said, we want a huge Big Green Egg at our new headquarters. I said, okay. They said, it's got to be at least 20 foot tall. But okay. And so we did a lot of math, and if you guys have seen the Big Green Egg headquarters on 85, it's probably the largest sign we've ever done, which was, really fascinating, because the Big Green Egg really isn't a grill company. It's a marketing company. It's all about marketing their products, and it's really fun to work with people who are in that marketing strain of things.
We're talking with Don Conklin of Pinnacle Custom Signs. Obviously, that's an interesting project. Is there such a thing as an ongoing client in signs kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. We have we've served a couple of customers in Atlanta that are franchisors. Okay, and we've done such a good job with them in Atlanta. They've asked us to handle all of their location openings across the country. So now we are doing signs in Seattle, and San Diego, and Houston, and Maine. Did a sign in Greece.
Wow.
And that's what happens was, as you establish your business and you do a good job for them, they're like, okay, as opposed to me trying to find a sign company in these different locations, you handle it for us and we'll pay you because we know you guys are doing a good job to do that. So we've shipped a lot of signs. My freight bill for Yellow Freight Lines is pretty outstanding this year. But it really is fun. So those are ongoing customers, Mm-hmm. And then there's ongoing car dealerships are ongoing customers because they use stickers and things like that. So there's a lot of ongoing customers.
It is largely a family business, as you outlined, and I suspect there's pluses and minuses that can be with that. What is next for Pinnacle Custom Signs? What is next for the sign industry as you see it, Don?
Well, we see a lot of digital signage out there, the changeable LED boards, and that really is getting it. The price points are coming down on that, so we'll see a whole lot more of that in the sign industry. People always ask me about 3D printing. Don't see an application in the sign business yet, but maybe eventually. We don't know. And a lot of people are utilizing the real estate they already have to do more advertising. So I'll give you an example. As a restaurant, you think, okay, put a sign on the front of the building, put a sign out by the street on that big pylon sign, and I've advertised, right? Well, guess what? They already have the windows, they already have the floors, they already have the tables. So if you've ever gone into restaurants and seen logos on floors or on tables or on windows, people are realizing that's good opportunity for them to advertise more of their business. And some companies are doing it, tremendously all the way, and some people are just learning how to do it. So you're going to see a lot more signage and a lot more concentrated spaces, I see.
In 5 years, as the growth as you talked about 5 years ago, it strikes me that that's about the time I started seeing you come to the Gwinnett Chamber, and I suspect that was an early step for you.
It absolutely was. That was, I went Thursdays and Fridays, so got up and had to fight the traffic. I opened my business 10 minutes away, so I didn't have to fight traffic. No, I had to come down 85 to come to the chamber meetings, but they're very valuable. I met a lot of great people. Some of them around the table today. I met Mike and Johnny, you and Bill through the chamber. So it's one of those things that, you get this camaraderie, and because we're all in it together. Most of us are small business owners, right? And so I have a new mantra when I'm talking to someone that wants to open a business. It's called the 2 years of hell syndrome, right? And they say, what is that? I said, your first 2 years in business will be 2 years of hell, okay? I'm not saying you're not going to have fun, but you're establishing a business, you're establishing a brand, you're establishing customers in a market, okay? Whether you're doing it in signs, whether you're doing it in communications, whether you're doing it in real estate, you've got to establish yourself for 2 years. You're not going to open up the doors and make $1 million. So it's 2 years of hell. Get through it, and maybe you can breathe easier. So, and every time I discuss that with someone that's been in business more than 2 years, I get head nods around the table. I really do.
Well, certainly it's been an experience for you being involved with at the Chairman's Club level, and as we mentioned, the Chairman's Club Business of the Month. Share with us now your contact information, how people can get in touch with you.
Easiest way, since it's a visual communication thing with signs, is to go visit our website at pinnaclecustomsigns.com. Our Facebook page is also the same, Pinnacle Custom Signs. Or you can give me a call at the office, 678-714-8700.
Very good. Don, thank you so much. And now we turn to Courtney Spencer, Membership Services Coordinator with the Gwinnett Chamber, who's just coming off a busy night with Business After Hours at Del Mar Gardens. It's always a fabulous night at Del Mar, but the fun doesn't stop on Business After Hours. Your schedule is busy moving forward.
Absolutely, very, very busy. Just briefly want to talk about Business After Hours for the month of August. We're about working hard, but we're about playing hard as well. One of the great things about Business After Hours is that it gives our members a chance to really kick back, enjoy drinks, fellowship, networking, great food, and just really get a chance to get to know one another. So Business After Hours for the month of August will be held at Fumi Hibachi and Sushi Bar. So if you're a sushi fan out there, this is definitely the Business After Hours to attend.
Those folks are fairly new to the chamber, are they not?
Yes, they are. They recently joined, and they dove right in. They said, we want to do a Business After Hours. I was like, yes, you can definitely do a Business After Hours. We'd love to have you. So they will definitely be hosting. They'll be our host sponsor for Business After Hours in the month of August.
With the rest of let's continue for Business After Hours for a moment. The rest of the year is pretty much booked. Someone may be listening and say, gosh, that sounds like something I'd like to be a part of, to host BAH. How do you do that?
Oh, gosh. First of all, we're always happy to do any site visits. We love to visit with our member businesses and really get a feel for what everybody's about and how we can really promote you, because being a host sponsor for Business After Hours is really a promotion for your business. We conduct site visits to really take a look at your business and see if we can, you are able to actually accommodate us. We host anywhere between 175 to 275 individuals for Business After Hours. So we do a site visit, get to know you get to know us, and we just make the conclusion from there.
Very good. Well, moving forward, we're just a little over a week away from what I think is one of the best titled events that the Chamber has, the Button down dash.
Absolutely.
Button Gwinnett, button down dash.
Love play of words.
Is it too late for people to sign up to play with that?
It is
run with that?
absolutely not too late. First
Okay.
of all, the button down dash will be held on August the 6th. You wonder where we're starting? We're starting right there at the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, 6500 Sugarloaf Parkway. We're starting bright and early at 7:30 a.m. So, go ahead and get ready for that.
Well, if it's August, you got to run early.
You got to run early. Isn't that the hottest month of the year?
It's not as close.
Oh, help us. Anyways, it is not too late to sign up for Button Down Dash, the 5K race, because it's two races. There's a 5K race, and then there's the 10K race for those diehard racers and marathoners out there. For the 5K race, it's only $30, and for the 10K race, it is $35. But if you decide to, if you're a corporate team, so if your business or your company, Pinnacle Custom Signs, if you all would like to be a part of the Button Down Dash, there is a $5 discount per person.
Okay.
If it's 10 runners or more.
All right. So you can, some people will have teams, some people running individually,
Yes.
that kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Moving forward from that, in August, the fun doesn't stop.
The fun does not stop. We have so many different events at the Chamber. If you can't attend one, there's so many other events that you can be a part of. We have the general membership meeting on August the 17th. Guys, you do not want to miss this one because it is the Fortune 500 CEO panel that will actually be held at the Infinite Energy Forum from 11:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m.
Who's going to be involved in that?
Oh gosh, the CEOs from AGCO, Asbury Automotive Group, as well as WestRock, and we'll actually have the moderator will be from 11 Alive. So this is a star-studded event that we'll have.
That's a little bit different from the I would say the regular general membership meeting format.
Absolutely. It's really just going to be a panel format, really get a chance to really talk with those CEOs and get their point of view about things.
Well, there's never a shortage of events to take advantage of with the Gwinnett Chamber.
Never, ever,
Courtney,
ever.
if people need to know more information, obviously the website is there, but if they need to check with you on some things, how can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can reach me. My email is cspencer@gwinnettchamber.org. You can also reach me at 770-232-3000.
Very good. Courtney Spencer, thank you so much. Let me go back around the room one more time for one update on contact information. Bill, share with us again, Bill Lampton, how people can get in touch with you.
Gladly. Telephone number 678-316-4300. Website biz, that's B-I-Z, bizcommunicationguy.com.
Marcel Williams.
Of course, telephone number 404-398-7262 and website www.mswcreativeservices.com.
Excellent. And Don Conklin.
Phone number 678-714-8700. Website pinnaclecustomsigns.com and Facebook page Pinnacle Custom Signs.
Well, I appreciate all of you being with us today, and thank you, listeners, for joining us on Open for Business, the Gwinnett Chamber's monthly radio show on Business Radio X. Open for Business is brought to you by FarraTech. FarraTech, great people, remarkable service. Don't forget, we debut each month's program on the fourth Friday of every month at 11:30 in the morning, but you can listen to any of our shows anytime by visiting GwinnettBusinessRadioX.com. All of our shows are also available on iTunes. Until next time, I'm Johnny Phelps of Harry Noman Realtors. Thanks for being there.